what do you say to all the people that like freaked out at you? You said it was like personal people that you knew, or like who was freaking out?
Well, I think it's weird. I posted on my close friends today. I was like, watching people, like, first of all the girls that were like the first ones to talk shit on me. Well, let me get this straight. Myron begged me to come on his show. Whatever podcast begged me to come on their show. Couldn't afford me. Couldn't afford my day rate.
They send those to everyone.
Like,
yeah.
But they asked me like 40 times, and I was like,
yeah, but you just copy and paste. I used to do one of those.
I'm above that. And I was like, your rate's not high enough. If you want to pay me for a day, great. Can't afford me. But then it's like, you're the first person to talk shit. Then all the girls that were talking shit were the first people to like.
What did Myron say? I'm just going to keep going.
No, it's just like, it's just so annoying to see all these girls follow me. They see me, like, God forbid they meet me at Jubilee or I'm at a conference. They're like, oh my God, like, follow me back. Let's take photos. We're friends. But then the second they get the opportunity for clicks, they're like the first ones to shit on me. And I'm just like, you guys are like so fake and like weird. And like, I hate to say it because it's like, it sounds very pick me, but at the end of the day, I think like most of them are just jealous. I'm like, I get to like 100% be myself, and they like, I don't know, they cater so much to what other people think about them. And at the end of the day, like they couldn't even dream of hitting like the views I hit on a normal video of me talking in my car with no makeup on.
Well, do you know, I find you a little bit, I know what he's talking about because I know what he's trying to get at. Like,
I'm like, Myron, you debate whores for a living. No, please calm down.
No, I like Myron actually.
But it's like, what do you like? You're like what? You're like,
well,
how
so
old?
what he's talking about is, I don't know if he knows your content too well.
He knows me personally.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Like, this isn't a stranger.
She's an undercover feminist. So
yeah.
Would you consider yourself a feminist in any way?
I consider myself the textbook definition of feminism when it says that I believe in equal rights. I want women to have the same ability to do things as men. I am not the modern wave of feminism.
But you know they can't, right? Like
Look, if you want to go work in the lumberyard, you're allowed to do that. Are you going to do well? Probably not. But like I said, it's textbook definition. I'm not supporting any of the feminism that got us to where we are today. But like, if you've ever watched anything I've ever said, that's very clear. I shouldn't even have to like explain that. These people are like so fucking brainwashed.
Well, I guess because my question would be like, would you, because we were talking earlier about like women's right to vote, and you think we should have it then? Shouldn't have it, like, because
look, if women didn't vote, things would probably be a bit better, but it would be hypocritical for me to be like, I would support banning it. No, they can vote. They just vote and ruin our country.
Well, my thing is they should be enlisted in selective service then. And if I had to be, you know what selective service is?
Well, also, isn't that like like in Israel, like everyone serves for a certain amount of time, and it's like also kind of badass. All the chicks I hang out with, their moms, they know how to like shoot guns and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, it seems like it worked out pretty well for you guys.
I don't think so. I mean, I've heard from a lot of guys that are in the military that what happened, like, because what I see happening in society is I see women getting big egos from jobs that are not as important or special or as needed as the jobs the men are doing, and getting overpaid for them. So what I see happening is they tend to get these big egos thinking they're doing the same thing the men are, but it's very obviously not. Like when you look at the output of society, women, like men make 90% of the world's stuff.
Yeah.
Like our jobs could disappear tomorrow, society would run fine, but our income is going close to the same. Why is that? We're getting overpaid. So I don't know. I think that personally, like if feminists want to be equal, they should be equal.
You mean go do the difficult jobs to become more equal in that sense?
Correct. Or if you want to vote, I think you should get selective service with it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be married, right? I think it should be 50-50, no child support, no alimony.
Well, okay, but you'll agree. This is like typical women. They're like, we want to be equal unless it's something I don't really like or something that doesn't benefit me. We want all the benefits, but we want none of the negatives. Okay, so that's pretty much everyday life with women at this point.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think like I understand his point. But
you know he's just doing this shit for clicks. He saw.
No, I think Myron believes I think he believes what he says, to be honest. What he's talking about is women, like Megyn Kelly. She's done the trad wife stuff for years and saying you can do it all. And at some point, like you have to pick. Yeah. You know, you can't really have a full-fledged media career and have young children. Like something's got to give.
Well, something is going to be sacrificed.
Yeah, and that's what I think you were getting at, is a lot of the women are having these full-fledged media careers, and pretending they're trad, and it's just not.
And I'm asking them, how the fuck are you a trad wife when you're online and you're working full time?
Correct.
I'm confused. Like Allie Beth Stuckey, whatever the fuck her name is. I don't fucking know because I've never. I don't like follow these people. Like said something and then she subtweeted someone else who was like, I talk to my children about stimulating things all day. I'm like, yeah, you talk to your fucking 9-year-old about
well, and they still
geopolitical issues. That's amazing.
And they still order men around. Like if you're a traditional woman, you don't think it's your place to tell men what to do.
But yet they do.
And they always nag men on because I'm in the red pill side, right?
Yeah.
And like what they'll do is they'll nag men on, like Lila Rose was on Justin Waller and she was nagging him about like, he talks about stepping out or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, why is it your place to tell a guy how to run his household?
Doesn't that go against your own beliefs?
Exactly.
But also I look at her profile and I'm like, cool, so you have almost 1 million followers, which means you do social media full time. You have a full-time show. You also did a book. You're probably doing a book tour.
Yeah, I know.
So you're all fucking hypocrites.
That's why when I was listening to the video, it's funny because I know both of you. So I was like, I know what he's talking about, but I don't think you guys are talking about like the same thing.
That's the thing. Also, people are taking what I say and they're giving their own meaning and definition where I'm like, yeah, but none of you like asked me to elaborate on like really my point of it. Like if you've watched my content for 5 years, I've never once said anything negative towards stay-at-home wives because I'm like, every single person somehow missed the entire point of that. It's okay for women to want to work and contribute. It's okay to do both. Actually, it really doesn't affect any of these people's lives.
Well, and if you were a real trad wife, you could actually make money. Like, I mean, how many people need to hire cooks, clean? You know what I mean? Like, that's a skill too.
Yeah, and also it's like not all of us want to live the same lifestyle. Like that's great. Like you can be 20 and like live in Arkansas and have 6 kids, and you can, your husband can control every dollar you fucking spend. That's not me. And I'm like, I hate it. At the end of the day, I'm like, I feel like a lot of you guys just kind of like envy my life. I'm like, I make my own money. I pay all my own bills. And like, at the end of the day, I hate to say it. Like, say I'm trying to marry into someone who comes from a ton of money, good traditional family, very educated. Do you think they're going to be stoked when their son is like, hey, I want you to meet this girl. I want to marry her. Oh, what does she do? Nothing. Oh, what does she do all day, every day while you work? Oh, she has my credit card. Okay. What's her education? 0. Or are they going to want him to be with someone who's at least somewhat educated and has some sort of skills, maybe potentially intelligent, and does something that's a skill, which doesn't mean you're going to do that forever. But it's good to see that you're capable of that and you do it at one point in time. I'm fine with being a stay-at-home mom. That's great. But I also might want to work as well. And sometimes women have children and then after they've all left the nest, they go back to work and that's okay too. But this whole thing of like, there's a definite answer. No. There's no definite answer.
Well, there's no such thing as a traditional woman in this society because they're only traditional as long as she wants to. And I was just on a show, I was telling you earlier, with a couple of Christian guys, right? And they kept asking me if there was exceptions, right? And if they could have a traditional relationship. And I said, well, you can as long as she says yes to it. But
then ironically, isn't she in control?
That's the point. And in this environment, you cannot have a traditional, and I feel for a lot of the guys because I know that's what they want and I really hope they can get it, but
I hope everyone gets what they want in life.
Yeah, but unfortunately, women just don't really want to do that anymore,
It's also just not really realistic, especially when like what do girls see now? They see like every girl does OnlyFans and makes like $300,000 a month. So it's like and unfortunately a lot of the same guys talking shit to me are the same guys that pay and consume that content. And I'm kind of like, also a lot of these guys are like, oh, I have a wife. I say, okay, you make $40,000 a year. Like, please shut the fuck up. 90% of the men talking shit to me can't even afford to like pay for dates. Nevertheless, wife and children, like be real. We live in a very expensive place.
The challenge you get is women just want a lifestyle a lot of times and they won't sacrifice it for the kid. Like I would have girls come on my show and say they couldn't afford kids, but I could see their Botox. Like I could see the fake nails, the fake, like I kind of
designer bags, clothing. Yes.
Correct. So a lot of them probably, and because I've spoken to people that live out more in the country and they're able to have kids, right? It's just, they go down a lot on lifestyle. They don't travel.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and you admit that, but that's like the caveat is women just don't want that.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
Yeah,
I admit that I want someone to come cook. I want what we haven't made. I want a maid more often. I want a nanny. I want to be able to travel with my husband and have someone watch my children and not lie about it and shame others on the internet like all these women do to me. And I just admit that that's the lifestyle I want, and maybe I won't accept less than that. So maybe right now I'm like, well, why don't I contribute to making that dream happen and get up off of my ass and do something about it?
As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Choq, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Choq's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Choq Male Vitality Stack right now on Choq.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on Choq.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code.